Okay. Can you mention few terminal operations in Java 8
Terminal,
streams?
terminal operations, yeah. For each, collect, reduce, and find first, find any, um, no match. Yeah, these are the terminal operations. Max, min, also. Yeah.
Okay. I want to give you one scenario. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Actually, we have some list of employees.
Yeah.
Okay. I want grouping of employees based on their gender. Okay.
Gender. Okay.
Uh, could you please write a program in that one line of Sudoku?
Yeah, sure.
Can you share your screen?
Yeah. But I think only meeting organization process can share. I can see this one.
Okay. Or else you can write in chat.
Okay.
Ping me in chat. Okay.
Okay. Okay. So first we have a list, right? See. So list dot. So this is employee list. Okay. For I think you can give the access, I guess. Is there any option for that?
Sorry.
I think you can give the permission to share my screen.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Let me try.
Yeah, there you go. I'm telling you, just see you.
So employee dot okay, get gender, and so just grouping by gender. That's it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So first I'll take the employee, then stream, then collector start, group by. So here I'm using method reference. So employee get gender, then collector is our to list. Suppose if you want to take like employee get gender and count of it. So I can do that one also. And what is the grouping by gender and name also we can do.
Okay. Yeah, nice. Can you explain me the internal working of hash map, especially in the context of collision?
Yeah. Okay, so what happens is, suppose we use map.put of key comma value. So we need to first generate, so first based on that key, so what we can do, we can create the hash map will, the process is like, so it create the hash code. So the hash code is like a unique value or reference of your object for it to identify the uniqueness. And after that, so once it's creating the hash code, so the hash map is created like initially it was 0 to 15. There's a 16 bit, it will create 16 bucket list. Okay. So after that, so it will be modulus by the size of the hash map. So initially it is 15, right? So hash code mod 15. So it will give you some number. It's like a one between 0 to 15. So what happens if we find the 2? I mean, suppose we suppose the bucket number we get is 2, then it will store directly. Suppose in the same happened again. I mean the same now hash code happen when it happens is again we have the same, again it get the 2 bucket number for other adding addition also. Suppose if another entry map.put of same key value. So here also it is hash code and modulus by the size of it. So again it will get the 2. So what happened here is there is a hash code. There is a collision now. So first it will compare with the key. So if the key is same, so what happened? It will replace that value. If the key is not same, then it will add it like a linked list. It will connect to the previous one. So that's how its hash map works.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why string is immutable?
Yeah. So why string is immutable means, so this is how Java developers will do, why we make this thing is, suppose there is a password. Okay, this is something like a password thing of type. Suppose string s1 equals to there's some password. And suppose if I want, if it's not immutable, again I'll create with the same one, a same object, and I can reference to that one. So it will be like I can able to modify that using some another reference also. So this is how they make it like the string is immutable. So and one more thing, like this string is initiated in 2 ways. So first is using the string literal. We have a separate memory thing like a string constant pool. So when we create string str equal, let me type this one. So string str equals to so this is string literal. So it will store in string constant port. Suppose if I use this one, string s1 equal, so okay, string str equals to uma concat, yeah, str plus concat Mahesh. So what happened? So now it is, now this, okay, the string is immutable, but here the str, this reference is pointing to Uma, but in the second line, this Uma, this str is pointing to Uma Mahesh. Now if I print the str, then I'll get the Uma Mahesh. Suppose what happened if I print the first statement and the last statement, str.concat. Now if I want to print the str, now I'll able to get the Uma only, because the string, the str is reference to Uma only.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you had knowledge on Spring Boot, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you please list down the advantages of Spring Boot?
Yes. The first advantage of Spring Boot is, okay, it's built on the top of Spring. Okay. So it's still the ready application and ready to build application, the main advantage of it. So that's the first advantage, and it will give you the embedded Tomcat or Jetty server and auto configurations. So we don't need to write the XML properties file. So it will give you automatically. It will, based on the dependency, it will first check the class path. So based on dependency, it automatically include all the jars. So that's the main advantage of it, and it give you ready to give applications. Tomcat and auto configuration. That's the one.
Okay. Can we change the default server to JT?
Yeah, we can change it.
Okay. Yes. What is the purpose of actuators in Spring Boot?
Yeah, to check the status of the beans. Yeah, we can use that actuator. So we need to add the dependency and we need to add some configurations to that so it will work. So, but basically, so once we cloud comes, we are not using these actuators and things. So we can directly check the status of once we deploy to cloud. We can check the pods, can run in the containers, right? So it's a very initial stage we are using these actuators.
Okay. Okay, what is the difference between auto-wide annotation and bean annotations?
So auto wide annotation means okay. Okay. So bean annotation, what happen is suppose bean annotation we use when the class is annotated with configuration. So while creating while the Spring Boot starting, so at the time of starting, so what Spring application context will do is the components will search entire application where it can find. So first if the class is annotated with a thread component, it will store in Spring application context. At the same time, it will learn to search for a thread bean things, a thread bean annotation under the thread configuration class. So once it is found, it is considered as a thread bean and store it in a Spring application context. What a thread auto-wire will do is, so this auto-wire configuration, suppose there's a controller. Under the controller, there's controller class, under the controller class. So I annotate the service with the auto-wire. That means we need to, this service bean should inject at the time. That's the dependency injection. So a thread auto-wire.
Okay. Okay. How can we create a RESTful web service in Spring?
Okay, RESTful web services. So we can do that like a thread REST map. So we can create the controller. So this is structured like this: a controller. Controller will call service. Service will call repository. This is the hierarchy. So in the controller service, so we can do there is a thread request mapping where it is the URL. So where it will route the thing. When we hit the URL, it will route it to here. So under that, after the after we creating the controller class, so here we have a HTTP methods like a get method, post method, patch method, put method, delete method. We can use that one. So get method for if you want to save anything, then we can use post, and if we want to update anything, then we can use put, and if you want to update only one particular line, we can use a patch. And for get operation, we can use a get mapping here. And at the rate of get mapping, in the square bracket, we can write what is the path of it. So we can take the parameters after creating the method. Suppose there's example, I want to get the employee by ID. So at the rate get mapping, under that there is a method like public or get all users and a method name in the param. So I can use the parameters there. So what is the thing? Using a thread path variable, I can use it if you want to get directly by URL, or if I can use a path params, I can use it. So if it's a optional thing, that's the one. So this is in the case of get mapping. So what about the post mapping? We can we can use the post mapping. I mean request body. So we can take the request body and we can save it to database. So that's how its request mapping works. So under controller, this is how. In services, we can write the business logic, and from business logic, we can do some what is the logic for the functionality. From there, we can call the repository to save the data, to save into database.
Okay. You are working on microservices as well,
Yes,
right?
correct.
Okay. Can you explain me the circuit breaker pattern? Like why it is used?
Sorry?
Circuit breaker pattern in microservice.
Circuit breaker. It's like historics, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like So what happens is, suppose there's service A calling service B, but service B is down. So at the time we'll get some there's something like we'll get error. So what we can do, we need to handle that time. So we need to break circuit. So what we can do, we have a historics command there. So in that we need to write the fallback method. So suppose if it's not working, so what we need to do? So so I can give you some suppose let's take an example of we need to find the get all users. So the service A will get it, but you need to call the service B, but service B is down. So what we need to, I can write one more method